What's up, YouTube? Baby Jackalope here, Rob Ricks. I got a kind of a hybrid story. I got a little story about something my brother taught me, and a memory that I was just thinking about recently of my stepdad. So, my stepdad uh, ended up being addicted to stuff, and there was a point. And if I told you the story before, I apologize, but I don't. My memory is bad, and I don't remember. But I was thinking about this memory, so I wanted to share with you. Because I tell my son that I love him all the time, and I let him know that I love him, and I do that with my daughters as well. But it's easy with my daughters because there's no weirdness of hugging and kissing and telling them, "Hey, I love you guys." And my son is getting to that age now where he's starting to develop into a young man. In fact, we had to do this whole maturation bullshit. They're talking about erections and boners and all this other bullshit, and I'm like, yeah, this, the way they present it is so academic and so sanitized. It's just fucking retarded. But anyway, I let my son know I love him all the time because, and part of that is because my dad, my stepdad, who raised me, who I considered my father, um, did not make a habit of showing affection or love. He didn't say, "Hey, I love you, I love you, I love you, I hug you." And in fact, I only remember him kissing me one time, and the fact that I remember that lets you know that it didn't happen ever. And I only remember him telling me that he was proud of me and he loved me. Uh, and the sad thing was, he was high as fuck. He was high as fuck, and he told me how proud he was of me, and he hugged me, and he said he loved me. And I remember thinking, what the fuck is going on here? Because it blew my fucking mind. It was crazy. And then I found out later it's because he was fucked up on drugs. But, sometimes drugs acts as a true serum and what's on the underside is actually revealed, right? Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys because that was a really emotional point in my life for me. To hear my stepdad actually tell me that he loved me and he was proud of me was a very, uh, very distinct memory for me. And I've been kind of meditating on it lately and thinking about it. But anyway, on to some more fun stuff. My brother, so we did all this martial arts and we did lots of sparring and lots of competitions. And again, if I told you this one as well, fuck, I'm sorry. I have so many videos at this point now that I'm not quite sure what stories I'm telling and I don't tell. Um, so if I did, I apologize. But my brother was telling me because I was getting in street fights and I wasn't doing as well as I was doing in the tournaments. In the tournaments, you're sitting there and you go for head, body, kicks, whatever. But you have these zones, but you're not supposed to hit like full force. You're supposed to tap, hit and pull back. And I got really conditioned with that. So when I got into a street fight, I'd be fighting, 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 boom, but I pull at the last second. I couldn't get my full extension. And it looked really impressive. It looked really good. And the guy would get stunned, like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And then he's like, what the fuck? And he'd clock the fuck out of me, and I'd get my bell rung and get my ass kicked. My brother, though, and some of you might already know this technique, but for those of you who don't, this is a very interesting psychological thing. My brother said, when you go to punch somebody, don't aim here. You want to aim to the back of the skull. You want to hit the back of the skull. That's your target. And I was like, what? You're fucking crazy. And the next time I got in a fight, and I was sitting there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm, wow, all of this fucking rocked. But what my brother didn't tell me, but I'm going to tell you, when you punch, take this off. When you punch, you want to make sure that this part of your arm, your wrist, is nice and firm and locked. So when you hit, boom, right? Because you're going to hit solid. You're going to hit that fucking face. And when you hit the face, that's pretty solid. You can actually break your hand and do a whole bunch of other nasty stuff. But when you hit, right, just keep it locked. Because that first time I did, my arm was a little bit like this. And I hit, and it did this. And I sprained my wrist really fucking bad. And it hurt. It hurt. My brother had a bad habit of fighting with his thumbs out. And every so often he'd hit a motherfucker and he'd break that thumb. And I kept telling him, tuck it in. And then he would do some shit like this, where he tucked it inside his hand, and he'd fucking break it. He'd break it as well. So he broke his thumb a number of times. But he also rocked the shit out of pretty much everybody he's ever hit. Myself included in that list, because a fucker can hit like a Mack truck. But I just wanted to share that with you. So when you're fighting and you're coming in and you're going to hit, boom, you're aiming for the back of the skull. You want to punch through the motherfucker's face. You're punching through. If you aim here, that's no good. Okay? It's no good. Especially if you're a martial arts and you've been training and you've been doing lots of sparring and you're pulling your punches. When you get higher ranks and you're doing full contact, that's different. But when you're lower ranks, and I don't know if they do that now. God, it's been so many fucking years since I've been training with the MMA stuff. I'm sure the MMA, they train to rock the fucker as hard as you can. But anyway, it's just old school advice. Some of you probably already know it. Some of you don't know it. Hey, it might make a huge difference if you end up getting in a fight. All right? All right, so that's it for this time. If you like it, please subscribe. Tell all your fucking friends. Until next time, please be good to each other.